to episode 2. Today we are going to talk all things budget and finances, how and why we created a budget. And I want you guys to know that this is what works for us. This is not something that is going to work for everyone. So keep that in mind. Don't look at this and think that this is the way you have to do things. This is just what works for us and how
we do our finances, how we balance our budget, and it may or may not spark something for you. Maybe the way that you're doing it, like, because we argued a lot at first when we first got into our relationship. I think like we were both uncomfortable with somebody else kind of having access to our money and like being very transparent about our money, and so like we each saw everything that each other did. And it was a confusing and difficult time in our relationship, and it took a little bit of time. So maybe this will help you, maybe it won't. It certainly works for us, and so that's why we do it.
And this is not how it always was. So we've been together over 5 years now, and when we first met, our money was very separate. And he comes from a background where they talked about money a lot in their family, and they talked about budget. My family didn't really talk about money too much, so I am always very uncomfortable talking about it, and so this was great for me to like just have this and understand it. And but most of this is going to be him, and kudos to him for figuring this out and just making it so much easier for us. So
yeah, really, again, we were arguing or talking enough about the issues and both uncomfortable enough that I just kind of thought about this and how to make the most sense for us. So, like Heather said, we both came in with each of our financial accounts. So Heather's checking and then my checking. And when we were both getting paid into those, and everything was confusing, and we were trying to figure out who to pay for what and whatever. So we created a joint account. And that's checking account. And we did not get rid of our original accounts. So we left all of that there. So that's where we were for a little while. We had this kind of going on. And again, it was still a little confusing as far as like, all right, well, what are we doing for bills? And like, this was her bill and this was my bill, and kind of all around. So if you're kind of like, where do I even start? I would start figuring out, I think this should be for everyone. Figure out where your money's going and what accounts you have your money coming out of for bills, because that's like, you need to, like, in order to have a good solid budget and be in control of your money, you need to know where it's going. And I think for us, it was like, where's all of our money going? Like, we have it kind of here, but then I'm paying a bill with this credit card, and then this account is paying this bill. And he's like, well, I have this bill coming out of this account. And we're like, oh my God, we had like 10 to 12 different accounts where money was being paid and bills were being paid, and it was not manageable at all. So I'd say start there, figure out like where your money's going, and So we were here and we had like our own credit cards and stuff happening off the side. We kind of consolidated down to here, and then we ended up coming up with a bill pay checking account. And that's, so everything, so again, we figured out all of our bills, and figured out how much that was costing us a month. So, we're figuring like we paid $10 a month for Spotify. We had a storage garage, it's like a garage fee, your electric, water, sewer, what else your rent, for your house or your home or your mortgage, whatever that amount is. Dog food, and then like your insurance. You don't think about your insurance, maybe you only pay your insurance once a year or twice a year.
Gas.
Yeah, car gas, groceries. Some of this was estimation. We just looked at like old bills of how much we had paid over the course of a month for everything. And then like insurance. Whatever you're paying in insurance for the year,
just divide that by 12 months and come up with an insurance amount. So just for ease of everything here, I'm just gonna say that everything costs, $50 a month. Yeah, and let's say 100, 200, 300, 400, $500 a month for all your bills. Obviously, plus or minus depending on how you live. But basically, that's your total amount of bills per month. So we need to make sure that at least that amount was going into our bill pay account every month. We still use credit cards for like interest rates and like returns, your points back and stuff like that. Just everything that we have, we make sure that we attribute it to this account and then we pay it out of that account specifically.
Yeah, so if we have, we recently got the Hawaiian travel credit card, whatever. So obviously while we're living here, we thought it would be a good idea, and so you get points on it. So maybe if we go grocery shopping, I would use that Hawaiian card to buy groceries, and then when I pay that credit card off, I'm using the bill pay account that we've created specifically for bills, because that money's in there, because he's going to show you why it's in there.
So basically we figured out all of our money in. So my account, my income and Heather's income, and whatever that total to. So just for the purposes here, let's just say that we make $1,000 a month, and that's all of our income is coming into our joint checking account, and we distribute it a year. I get paid twice a month. She gets paid bi-weekly. So how we did it was
But I was getting paid bi-weekly when we came up with this, so we've just always done it.
Yeah.
Every time we get paid, everything goes into this one account, and then he'll show you how we distribute it.
Distribute it there. So however often you get paid, just you and your spouse talk. If you want to, figure it out for every week or every 2 weeks or whatever you want, do it for that. We did it for 2 times a month. So basically, let's say we make $1,000 a month. Our income every 2 weeks. Well, I guess I'll leave that there. Or twice a month was 500. So we're basically getting 500 in every 15 days. So from there, we figured out, okay, well, we need 500 a month to pay bills, which really means we need $250 every, twice a month or 2 times a month. So our 500 would come in, and we'd immediately shoot $250 over to here, let's say. So whatever your bill amount is, divided by pay periods, there you go, in there. So that left, after that, so 500 in, 250 out, that left us with about 250 remaining.
And that's every 2 weeks now.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. So from there, we figured, okay, we wanted some damn money. Some don't ask me. DAM, don't ask me.
It was important for us to have, because when we first started creating this, I'm like, well, what if I want to buy you a gift? And I don't want you to see where I'm getting it from. If we leave money in the joint account and we're buying things for one another, or maybe I want to go get my hair done and I don't want him to see how much it costs for me to get my hair done and deal with that. So yeah, he calls it the damn money, don't ask me. He just bought a bike the other day, and so he just he has money in his account and he's gonna buy a bike, and I don't ask him about it, talk to him about it, because he has his own money. So we figured everything left will stay in this joint account. We also have, you want to talk about savings?
Yeah. So we also have our savings account, which we've come up with after that. So based on what's left in here, we pay ourselves money. So for the interest of here, let's say we each get $25 out of that initial thing. So that 250 now becomes 200, because we've each paid ourselves $25. So out of this 200, out of the money that's still in joint checking, we spend on whatever we want to spend it on.
If we go out for
drinks, things that, like one-time things that come up here or there, breakfast, church donations, whatever the case is, everything that we spend on together stuff, we buy dog treats, random one-off things that we buy here or there, we'll buy out of the joint checking. And then we also do savings. So We've kind of figured out what we spend for going out and fun and all that sort of stuff. And we put whatever the remaining balance is, let's say it's $50, we put that into savings. So
I'd say the most important thing is to talk about it and be on the same page. We were not on the same page when we first started, and it was a hot mess, and it just creates arguments that don't need to happen simply because you're not on the same page and you don't know where money's coming from, where it's going. Money can be like a really sketchy, difficult topic. We should probably talk more. Like, this is great and helpful, I hope, but throughout this year we could probably talk more about it, because I know for me, I'm just uncomfortable with it. And so the more we talked about it, the better it became. We had to talk about it in that before we got married. We had like a marriage prep class, and they make you talk about it. But like when we first met, I had a bunch of student loan debt, and so talking about this is where I'm at for the student loan debt, like credit card debt, things like that, just being open about it, because it's just, yes, it's uncomfortable and it's weird, and you don't necessarily want to be that transparent, but I think it's really important to just make sure you're on the same page so that you know what's up, and it can like just reduce the arguments and the fighting that you have over it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we do it. Again, it doesn't necessarily work for everyone. If you both come in and agree to certain amounts that'll go, that you'll get yourself for your spending money, you agree to how much money you want to, have out. So we kind of came up with this based on like, all right, what's a normal night out for us look like? And we kind of went back through a couple weekends worth of times, and we're like, all right, well, we went out to eat once on the weekend, and then we went out for some drinks, and we paid $20 to park here or there, or tickets to a park or whatever it was, and we just kind of figured that out. All right, on a month basis for fun and stuff like that, we're spending this much.
Most important is figuring out your bills, right, and making sure you have money to pay your bills. It was really important for us to just have that all come out of one account. That's the bill pay account, and we know there's nothing that's really going to change. Like, we figured out what our bills are for the month. I mean, for groceries, gas, things that like could fluctuate, we've just so like if we on average pay $100 a grocery trip, maybe we're like, all right, let's say $130 just in case. Same with gas, because prices can fluctuate. And then it changes. So maybe we have something come up for the dogs that we didn't expect, or I don't know, maybe like when we first moved, we bought a table and we bought like specific furniture and things like that. So that week or that month, we may not put money into savings, or we may not pay ourselves into our like fun accounts. We may, so it fluctuates and changes.
Yeah.
But overall, this has worked for us for the last 3-ish years.
Yeah.
And it's just made things so much easier. And we both have access to the accounts, so you just go in and see what's up, and
it's been good too to have like two sets, except for like our own accounts, we have two sets of eyes on stuff. So like, notice a charge, I may not notice it, but she's like, hey, what's this? And I'm like, well, I didn't spend that. So it also has helped us to catch like some fraudulent
for sure
activity. So, which has been good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Bam.
Hope this was helpful.
If you have any more questions, let us know. I can, shoot out an Excel if that makes it easier.
But everything we've done is just in Excel. Makes it super easy.